So from 1969 to present day, Russell Reynolds Associates has had four different CEOs, and the first one obviously being Russell Reynolds. He started this company with, I would say, good intentions and good core values of having respectable ethics and mutual respect for one another at the company, and kind of a general expansive, like, let's expand with quality and do things right for the company, the firm, and also the client. And then our second CEO from 1991 to 2006, who was appointed by Russell to take over after him, was Hobson Brown Jr. And this is kind of where our core values shift away from those original ones, and we get more towards the lone wolf mentality of whoever gets the call is the one who gets the money. And then our third CEO is Matthew Jr. Wright, and he was from 2007 to 2012. Importantly to note, this was during the 2008 financial crisis, and he was tasked with kind of recovering from slow growth rates before. And what he decided to do was double down on this lead generation, which went away from collaborating. And again, we see that this takes away from the initial core value setup. And that takes us to our current CEO, who was Clark Murphy from 2012 to present after Matthew Wright stepped down. And he had a history, Clark Murphy had a history with Russell Reynolds. He started off working for him and he went to business school through that. And his intent, essentially, when he became CEO, was to take things back to the way that Russell Reynolds had imagined it back in 1969. And the way he decided to do this was to combine two metrics into a single metric. He wanted to redesign the incentive program by combining two fields, the expertise field and also the lead generator field. Now, these fields were essentially contradictory in a lot of ways. One was about collaborating, the other was about like kind of soloing and doing like it all, like just the person who did very little would get the biggest reward. And this was essentially combining those two things. And the way that he wanted to do this was expand the pie by allowing 200% of revenue to be split, but only allowing 100% of it to be earned by one person. And what that attempted to do was appease the person who was previously just getting the phone call and getting all of the reward. They could essentially still get 100%, and there would still be 100% left for other people to get. So essentially that would allow more credit sharing in terms of like who did what, allowing for more collaboration. But at the end of the article, he's kind of just left wondering if this was the right decision to go with. This decision was known as the winning business, and it was honed in on a strategy of renewal to the core values of Russell Reynolds, and growth of the firm, because this, of course, was dependent upon the growth of the firm. And then he's left in shambles, kind of wondering if that was the right decision to go with the winning business strategy, or if he should have maybe listened more and taken the suggestion of the outside consultant who wanted to essentially reweigh the metrics, the 5 metrics that they gave. And he could have also just stuck with the lead generating strategy, which has proven to be successful in the past.
Okay, so the central issue for Russell Reynolds Associates case study is that they are attempting to implement a new compensation system where a team is rewarded for participating in a client's search rather than individuals getting all the work. Clients are actually demanding more of a collaboration with their complex searches. And because the current system lacks collaboration, this prevents them from satisfying their clients' needs. The lack of collaboration actually brings more problems than it does good. Lack of collaboration makes it more difficult for new consultants coming into the company to get into the market, just because they have to figure it out themselves rather than being put into a team to work together. And lack of collaboration also results in like lone wolf stars or rainmakers, referred to as in the case study, where there's just individual consultants thriving by themselves. Um, this type of independent work prevents the company to grow against competitors, and the mindset of the independent is just that so they can protect their territory of clients or work by themselves. That way they can be rewarded with all of it rather than sharing it. And so the issue here is for them to find a new system and to implement it to where all consultants are still going to be satisfied with their compensation.
So these are the three possible solutions we have for the case. The first one is called the winning business strategy. It was created by the Volunteer Army, which was a group of employees that saw the flaws within the company, the culturally, and these like lone wolves were like the people who would get the call would get all the credit, not really getting any help from anyone else. So they decided that they should each project should increase the budget by 200%, and basically the callers get people to help them out, and then they all work together and collaborate, and then they all equally get a share of the project. And so that would be great for collaboration and culture within the company. But you'd have to worry about those lone wolf types of people who wouldn't really want that. The next one, they brought in a person to see if they could identify a problem within the company, and basically what he found by doing interviews and analysis is that there was like these 5 different things that people could do to get incentives from the company. And basically he said it's too complicated. They need to narrow it down to like, this is what you need to do in order to get what you want. It would help simplify things for the employees. However, it wouldn't really help with the cultural aspect, as no one's really like working together. You still got lone wolves doing what they want. The third one is the operating committee. Murphy sat down with a bunch of the top people, and they secluded themselves for about 3 days debating on what they should do to fix the company. And they were inspired by the winning business idea, except they thought the 200% budget increase was too expensive, and they wanted to lower it down to 150, as well as giving credit to the people in the groups who did more work instead of distributing it out evenly. They proposed this, and it got quite a bit of backlash from the people. However, long term, it would flush out those lone wolves and probably be beneficial for the company as a whole, culturally, collaboratively, efficiently. And yeah.
So as a team, we decided that out of the 3 possible solutions we came up with, the best solution was solution 3, which was created by the operating committee. We made this decision after closely analyzing each solution and reviewing its advantages as well as its disadvantages. Solution 1, which was the winning business strategy developed by the Volunteer Army. This encouraged people to work with the callers by giving incentives. This solution really wasn't a bad idea. However, it could potentially devalue some top performers that were in the firm, and it could encourage free riders who could get credit simply for just tagging along. Solution 2, which was the Balzan recommendation. This suggested that the company have a specific way so it's clear on what the employee can do for a task. The main problem with this solution, even though it would make it easier for employees to do their job and all work toward a common goal, it doesn't address the internal culture and doesn't fix the lone wolf problem that we see throughout the firm. So this is why our team decided to go with solution 3. This solution was inspired by winning business, which ties into the first solution we talked about, but gives more credit to team players that do more. The operating committee did this by adopting the Volunteer Army's recommendation of a single winning business metric, which made it where the person who did the most work would get the most credit instead of the people that collaborated with each other splitting the profits equally. This solution basically helps drive collaboration more so than the lone wolf behaviors, and overall increases employees' work ethic because employees would be more inclined to work knowing they will be compensated if they do a lot more work. This solution also encouraged collaboration by deciding to leave credit allegation in the hands of consultants rather than having office or regional leaders manage the process.
So, in conclusion, we clearly see that in order to change the culture at RRA and the company's direction as a whole, changes must be made. For the company to be successful in the future, collaboration between employees must increase. And we as a team have decided that the best solution to implement to see these changes is the operating committee solution, because it is a hybrid of the winning business solution. It continues to incentivize employees to perform at a high level, while also having an adjustable scale for collaboration, and rewards people for collaborating accordingly. We believe that if this is implemented properly and remain consistent over a long period of time, that this will see a positive result for RRA and their culture and their company as a whole. So yes, thank you for watching our presentation.